Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
Our Rockingham County Manager, Lance Metzler, is on the line. Hey, Lance, how are you?
Mike, how are you today?
I'm doing just great. And I know we want to talk about the budget today. It's that time, and things are getting finalized.
Yes, we are. It is finalized. The board voted on it June the 1st. We had our public hearing on June the 1st, and they voted to approve the budget. So I basically just want to kind of give a rundown to the audience out there as far as how our budget looks and what we've got.
Okay.
So this is our 11th consecutive year with the county not having a property tax increase. Actually, we've had a reduction over the past 11 years. Now the rate stands at 0.695 per 100 assessed value of your property.
Well, that says a lot right there in these days, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've become accustomed to operating, doing more with less. It's just the way technology has come along. I think a lot of things have come into play where we're able to provide good services, if not better services, at a well-maintained budget. So I think my staff are working strong on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Our general fund this year is up a little bit. It's about 1.6% increase from last year, and it's right at $93 million, which is a pretty healthy general fund. And we have other enterprise funds. We have other funds. So our total budget is $130 million. One thing during the budget process, obviously, that was a very difficult thing to operate through, and that's the COVID-19 impact. I mean, when that came around, that limited us to doing basically 8 to 10 hours a day focusing on that. So, this has been my 26th budget that I've worked on, and it is it's a lot of uncertainty came with it, revenue uncertainty, particularly with sales tax and motor vehicle taxes. So, right now we've estimated a 7% decline in sales tax, but you've seen other places like Guilford County, Alamance, some of these larger counties that have metropolitan areas, they're looking at a 20-25% decrease.
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately, but unfortunately for Rockingham County, we don't have as many stores like they have, like clothing stores, outlets, stuff like that. So the impact on us with sales tax, we're estimating it not to be as aggressive as it is in those other areas.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And really, that makes a statement there, too, if you're looking only at 7%.
Yes, absolutely. It's, and again, that goes to, and we were pretty aggressive with that because we anticipated us to have a growth before COVID-19. We anticipated us to have a growth of 3%. So we're looking at a 10% swing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the right now our major revenues are ad valorem taxes, which represents about $52.3 million of our budget. We've seen a decrease, again, we're estimating in public utilities and motor vehicles, and a pretty steady flow of funds from the remaining funds that we have or revenues that we have in place. Some of and again, this year we told the employees, the staff after this COVID-19 is, look, this isn't going to be the year that we're going to have a strong budget. It's going to be a budget that will get us by, but it's not going to be a strong budget. So we have expended. We're going to have a few new positions. We have not too many significant capital needs, and what the commissioners did, which I think is a good idea, is they've asked that we do not commit any capital outlays until we have 1 quarter evaluated of our revenue stream. So we're going to hold off on any capital improvements. The same thing is that we have a 1.5% cost of living increase in our budget, and we're going to hold off on both of those probably till at least for the capital, to the end of the year, and the COLA, or cost of living adjustment, for after the first of the year, just to find out how our revenue streams are flowing, because again, there's a lot of uncertainty right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those unknowns for sure. Yeah, so you'll revisit that when it's appropriate.
Yes, absolutely, and everything else has stayed basically the same. The county does have a healthy fund balance, and And that's good for Rockingham County because you need to have a healthy fund balance, particularly when you have a pandemic come around every 100 years. So,
Yeah.
This is a good time for us to have a stable fund balance. And another thing that we're working on right now is reopening. We've got the phase 2 where the governor's he's actually at a phase 2.5 right now, which is a mixture between phase 2 and phase 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot more things are opening up. Of course, we're seeing a spike in positives, but you got to remember again there's a lot of those out there are asymptomatic. The only concern that I would have is that if our hospital beds start filling up, and that's the one thing that we don't want to have happen.
No, and that really hasn't happened as some predicted, which is good.
That is very good. So, and the counties have to start to look at reopening too. We've done in my opinion, we've done an excellent job in providing services during this pandemic. But we've got a lot of people teleworking. We've got a lot of things that have changed up. So, we're having to develop a reopening plan, or having more access. The customers have more access to actually face-to-face conversation with us. So we're working on plans like that right now. I think that the commissions have been. I know the commissions have been very supportive in overseeing this and helping us to get through these waters with the COVID-19.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds like everything's on track in these challenging times. I want to go back to, you said something a moment ago about a healthy fund balance. You're required to keep a certain amount balance there, aren't you? I mean, and state mandated or something like that. Is that right?
Well, it's really not a mandate, but the state recommends an 8%.
Okay.
So the state recommends 8%, which is it's supposed to equate to 3 months of your bills. But we're at over 20% right now, which is good, which allows us to be able to. The commissions have a policy in place that we have to be at 16%. We don't want to have any less than 16%, and anything over 18%, then the commissioners have the flexibility to be able to put those funds wherever they need to go. So, right now we're 20 to 25% is pretty good for a county. You don't want to be at the low end at the 8 to 10%, but you don't want to be above 25% because then you'll start looking at your tax rate and saying, okay, well, we can adjust our tax rate down if we start getting high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, those are some good numbers there for sure. And out of our 100 counties, I'm sure there are some that would love to be in your position.
Absolutely. I'll give you experience. When I was in Montgomery County, their funds were tight, so we dipped below the 8% while I was there.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a bad thing. So the state called us up and said, look, you guys have got to make sure you get your fund balance straightened out. So what happened was we increased the tax rate by 5 cents the first year, and the second year we increased our tax rate by 4 cents. So in a total of the 2 years, we increased it by 9 cents.
Mm-hmm. Had to do it.
But you got to do it. But fortunately, in Rockingham County, we've been able to be very fiscally responsible. We've had some good things. We've lost Miller. You lose companies like that, but then you gain. Like we just made an announcement on OnTex, which is going to hire 403 folks and have a $93 million investment. So we're pretty happy with where we're going as far as. And you would think right now during the COVID-19 pandemic things would slow down. But it's not. I mean, our housing market's starting to boom, or it's still booming. Our building permits are increasing. The attraction for industry locating here is increasing. So, like I've always said, Rockingham County is a great place to work, live, and play. It
really is. I want to piggyback on something you said just a moment ago about OnTex. And I was talking to someone who was involved with that. I know Mark Richardson and Keith Duncan and some others. I've spoken to them here recently, and looking at that land for that new industrial park that nobody had really even heard the name of that until this announcement was made a couple of weeks back. But looking at the planning on that was done over 5 years ago, we're going to be doing a podcast here soon about how do you get from A to B with your economic development people, because a lot of work goes into that, making things happen, doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot of work behind the scenes, and it's not a lot that we publicly discuss until we're able to. But we've been working on this area. I would like you said, at least 5 years.
Yeah.
It took where we had we worked with the CED to get options put on some property out there. Then we were able to convert the options over to an investor. We've been talking with the Duke Power to make sure we have the adequate power down there. We've talked with the towns to make sure we have adequate water and sewer down there. So, we've been working on this for a while, and it's all starting to really come together. We've gotten some funding through Golden Leaf and through Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, to be able to put a water tank down there and also run sewer down there. So, it's all starting to come together. And again, I know it's in the southwestern part of the county, but wherever we get growth, wherever we get jobs, it's good for the entire county, not just for one portion of the county, but the entire county.
That's exactly right. Okay. Well, Lance, thanks for the budget update. It sounds like your 26th budget has come together nicely. And yeah. I commend you as our leader in the county and your staff and everyone for making it happen. So thank you for the good work.
Thank you, Mike.
Always good to talk to you, and we'll chat again soon.
All right, take care.
You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Lance Metzler is Rockingham County Manager. You're in a good place in Rockingham County, and you can get more information right there on the website at myrockinghamcountync.com.